Welcome everybody to another day and another edition of the ESL India Premiership 2018 Summer Seasons' Masters League. I'm your host Vagish Godslayer Bhan, and joining me today is none other than Zara Angela Gonzalez.
How are you?
Oh, my hi is how are you?
Hi.
Okay then. Okay then. No, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm
How's the
good.
Delhi weather treating you?
Oh,
So
not
there
bad.
was a massive storm
Yeah.
yesterday and
You know which
stuff.
Burisa game got cancelled, which was a little sad
Yeah,
for
I
me.
heard. I was sick, so I was down with fever, and then I heard like all the windows and the doors shuddering and like yeah, all the
Yeah.
like crashy noises coming, and I was like, okay then, एक तो बुखार ऊपर से ये कोहराम बाहर हो रहा है. Well, ladies and gentlemen, apart from the general update about how Delhi is doing in terms of weather, I've heard that the thunderstorm might happen again today. But that's for later. Let me give you a shot. Let me tell you guys who all are behind this spectacular showcase of esports in India. I'm talking about people like Omen by HP, HyperX and Intel, and people like Norton Gaming and ESL India who are taking efforts to present this to you. And you, ladies and gentlemen, whoever is watching, are here because A, either you press the subscribe button, or B, either you press that bell icon button. Because if you aren't here, then you haven't pressed either of them. And that's the sole reason why you are not witnessing some real intense esports action. Now, moving on, as usual, we have Clash Royale, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and Dota 2 lined up. Clash Royale, Angie, tell me
Yes.
more.
Mukul versus Mehtab, two very fantastic players sitting over here. Of course, Mukul, as you know, is a defending champion, but as of now, he sits sixth on the board. He's played about 8 games for himself and is looking comfortable. I'm hoping to see him make it to the Masters League summer season finale that is going to be happening very, very soon. Of course, he being the defending champion also puts into question if he's not there at the LAN finale. Of course, I spoke to Gautam about this recently, and we were really expecting to see whether he'll make it through. Sitting sixth on the board, he's still at a risky spot. He's still got to win 2-3 games. So this game is actually very, very crucial for Mukul to really climb up that ladder. Talking about Mehtab on the other end, he's sitting 11th on the board. He's hardly played any games, so sitting 11th is not that big a deal for him as of now. He can
But again,
definitely
sitting 11th and
climb
not
up.
winning games would definitely.
Yeah, but he's got about 6 games more to play, and that also means that 6 games could also make him lead his way all the way to the LAN finale if he wins all six. So he's got a lot of eggs still in his basket to kind of work with. But looking at these two players in general, Mukul has been one of those players who also defeated the reigning champion as of now on the leaderboard, and that's going to be Satikshan. So if he's able to take down Mukul, if Mehtab is able to take down Mukul, it is something that he should be really proud of himself.
Alrighty then, let's quickly take a look at the first participant here, Manmohan Mehtab Singh. All right, that's Mehtab, aka Manmohan Singh. So we've got a new joinee who is also getting groomed as we speak every day. So he does a very good impersonation of our ex-Prime Minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh. I haven't seen good impersonations in a long time, but since Mehtab's real name is Manmohan Singh. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be going ahead and talking about Manmohan Singh. No, I'm talking to you.
If you have to talk about Manmohan Singh, also due to our Prime Minister, of course, former Prime Minister, an amazing human being. But Mehtab, he is a good player, defensive, as we can see. Even like he has that very defensive feel to him that I'm just going to make sure I know how the momentum of this game is going to go. But as I speak of the momentum of the game, he's really not getting into that aggressive kind of form which he needs to be in, due to which he's taken 4 losses for himself and only been able to secure 1 victory. But also it means that he is today sitting in a position where he can go back on our YouTube channel, where if you guys have subscribed, even y'all can check it out, all the various games and all the different players that are playing the ESL India Premiership. And as he kind of starts playing against these players who he hasn't really played against before, he will know the kind of decks they like to work with. He will know the kind of bans that he could do. And today, if he bans a card that Mukul really favors, and I would actually put that card down to be mostly a Sparky because he plays it very defensively, I think Mehtab is at a pretty good position.
All right, then let's quickly take a look at the opposition here. Mukul, 8-bit Aanchal. All right, that's Mukul 8-bit Archel for you guys. Our winter season finale's winner for that one matter, Angie.
Yes, and he's looking at a very cushy spot, but his gameplay actually is so different compared to all the other players, and that's why maybe he even won the winter season. I'm hoping to see whether he tries something out of the box today. At the same time, I'm wondering whether he's happy sitting at this spot, because being sixth is always, it's good, you're fine, you're very relaxed. But like Mirin, for example, who's our 2016 winner, he's also sitting in the same spot. So it's either that the game has gotten more difficult or the competition has gone up by a very massive rate. And I'm going to say that it's mostly the competition that is kind of causing even the best to kind of get more comfortable and be that I have to put my best foot forward in every single game to outperform my opponent.
Alrighty then let's quickly take a look at the player cards first of all and get a deeper insight about these two players. Quite some difference in terms of the trophy count. In fact, both of them have played double-digit thousands games. Like, I mean, 21,000 games by Manmohan,
Yeah.
13,000 games by 8-bit Mukul. But what's to be noticed is the fact that the number of wins reflecting in that amount is approximately equal for both of them. It's
Yeah.
like half a mark, like 13,500 games later, 8-bit Mukul's got 6,800 wins, whereas Manmohan, after 20,000 games, he's got 10,000 victories. So predominantly, both of them are doing fine. The highest trophies are around 500. Yeah, 500. There's a difference of
Yeah.
500 between both of them in terms of the highest trophies. So not much of a difference in terms of
Yeah.
the stats here, except the fact that the cards they like, the Sparky by Mehtab and the Hog Rider by
Talking
8-bit
about the
Mukul.
trophies, but I mean, the highest trophies that Mukul has ever had is 5,581. Meanwhile, the highest trophies Mohan has had is 6,000. Now, to be in a 6,000 range of trophies, you have to be a really, really good Clash Royale player. Also, Manmohan is one of those few players who's been playing this game from the time the game launched. So he kind of has seen the evolution of Clash over the 3 years that this game actually
So the
has
kind of
been.
varied kind of players are also coming. In fact, if we take a
True.
look at the banned cards right now, we'll have a deeper insight. Stone Golem getting banned by 8-bit and Mehtab banning the balloon.
Very good card. Actually, both of them are very good bans in
I
my idea, because Manmohan's ban on the balloon states very clearly that he wants to go into a deck that does not really need the balloon to be evading it midway. That could also mean that he's going for a very high elixir card like a lava or something even like the P.E.K.K.A. So when you place down cards like that, if you have a balloon that's completely in the opposite side coming against you, it's a very risky bet to go up against. While Mukul decided to just go against the golem card, he doesn't want to really even deal with that golem. That could also mean that he doesn't want to keep the minion horde or even the bats in his deck. As a matter of fact, he just wants to really have more of ground troops going down in this battle, which will not really get blocked by a card like a golem.
Yeah, indeed. Seems more like a pushy kind of a game here.
Yes.
More troops there, more troops to be garnered by the player here, so that they can make the maximum usage of the number of troops and
Yeah.
overwhelm the
But
opposition.
that also says that the Three Musketeers, one of the top cards, are still in the pool. So if Manmohan decides to use that, it would work really well in his favor
Indeed,
against any
indeed.
kind of combination that Mukul plays. Of course, I'm hoping to see if Mukul decides to play the Sparky card, but that also means that Manmohan's favorite card is the Sparky. So if you have a favorite card, you always know how to counter that card too.
Indeed, indeed. If we can have a look at the standings also while we're at it, we'll get to have a clearer picture of how things look here. Sixth position, like Angie said, is where Mukul stands, whereas Manmohan is the only other player apart from Shadab Kamil Khan, who's just played 5 games. Now, this is a stark contrast to the kind of score Shadab has. Both have played equal matches, but it's the reverse. 4 wins for Shadab, whereas it's 4 losses for Manmohan. Pretty interesting. In fact, I'm surprised to see Tahir Devils twin Sharif in the lower rungs along with Deepak
Yeah,
Mehudi
and he's
Mehta.
already finished his game, so that's a little sad to say that.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, Mrin Lakar is just
2 games
on the
away.
border, on the cusp of being red lined, red zoned. Yeah, that's the first to see. I've never seen Mrin play anywhere else except the Masters League. Jimmy Bhatt for that point of matter. Some really interesting players here.
Yeah.
Saif Patel, Arpan, who's our
Also,
fall seasons as winner.
the thing
I
is
mean,
that with seeing Tahir already finished his 11 games, that also means that every game that Manmohan wins after this, Tahir is going to be pushed down into
Yeah,
the
in fact,
Challenger
Deepak
League.
Mehdi Mehta also has one more game remaining. So Tahir is going to be pushed down left, right, center. In fact, the only saving grace now that can be if Jimit, Mrinmoy, and everybody else lose their games and lose the rest of their games. That
Yeah.
that would probably put Tahir up. Like, see, again, he's still going to get relegated if he's
Yes,
there
he
by the
is.
ninth
He
mark. So
is.
ninth position still means relegated. That's the maximum he can go. So that's the red line zone there, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the standings for the
Yeah.
Masters League of Clash Royale. In fact, let's quickly head off into the game and see what's in store for us. Gautam Workaholic Virg is all set and revved up to take us through the game. So over to you, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another day of exciting Clash Royale casting. Today we have a match between Mehtab and 8-bit Mukul. And our studio did a fairly decent job at breaking these two players down and showing us where they currently stand. So I'm not going to be indulging in all that information. I'm going to be going right into the match. This is a best of 5 and interesting bans coming out of both the players. We have the Golem banned by 8-bit Mukul and we have Mehtab banning the Balloon. Balloon's always been this fabled card that has been destroying a lot of competition here in the Premiership, and we'll see how things pan out. Both of them going for a very interesting deck, by the way. We have Mukul, who has the Motor, and Mehtab, who has the Expo. Both of them still holding on to their respective cards. Don't want to show too much, and they'll keep it hidden. Still keeping it hidden, by the way. So we'll see who finally decides to. And there you go, Mukul decides to put down the Motor first. Has shown his card. Now we know exactly what he has. Motor will now be targeting these archers, cleaning them out fairly quickly. Big distractions right in the front. Let's see how 8-bit decides to. 8-bit decides to defend against this. Defend his Motor, which is sadly gone down fairly quickly. And you know what? Now it's turn for Mehtab to show his cards. And you know what his card is? And that's the Expo, by the way. Expo now is getting challenged by that miner. However, will be able to do some amount of damage onto that tower, bringing it down to around 2,000 health. You saw the Expo. It basically does about 100 damage every second. Yeah, it had 5 seconds. It took the health of that tower down to 2,000. So good for him. Mehtab also was taking some damage by some of the units also, and Motor actually destroying his archers every single time. So we'll have to see how Mukul decides to rearrange his units. And now you see Mukul actually opting to put a defensive Motor there, so he'll be using it defensively while he drops a miner in the back. Miner taken out fairly quickly there by the Expo, thanks to the Expo. However, the Expo, as you can see, does not target the skies. So we'll patiently wait for this balloon to pop and the skeletons to come down on the floor. Again, Mukul getting more and more damage done to that tower now. Motor again put down defensively. Will be taking some pot shots on the Expo. That Expo is being targeted directly, by the way. And the Expo also retaliates back by targeting the Motor. Also, Motor will be able to take another shot out. No, yes, wait. Out of the death comes out another stone, taking out the Expo. Another Expo being aggressively put, and so is another Motor as well. Another Motor doing a lot of damage. So finally, we see a band of units coming down here to help him out. Miner still doing more chip damage, distracted over and over again, but the bats are finally out. They will get few hits on the tower while the tower is distracted by the miner, bringing it down to the mere 400 health. This is GG on part of Mehtab. He realizes it'll be difficult for him to survive this overtime of 2 minutes. His opponent Mukul will be able to take this game in his favor. Yeah, he's kind of given up, but he still has time. He still has potential, but he realized that he will not be able to do much damage to his opponent's towers here. So he's going to try to defend. He could go for a draw also, which will really help him out. He could, instead of taking a loss, he could have gone out for a draw. However, we'll see if he'll be able to hold this position currently. So fireball being used aggressively, and you can see the Motor actually doing so much AoE damage it really destroys those archer and small units, by the way. And again, Miner distracted, Miner taken care of. However, the fireball just a bit too late, and the minion horde finally comes in to clear that segment out. And 1-0 is now the score. And we'll take this opportunity to send it back to the studio so they can break down this particular game, this game one of best of five. So Angie and Vagish would love to hear from you guys right about now.
All right, then. That's the first game here in the best of five here. Mukul 8-bit Archel securing his victory
Yeah.
as easily as it was a piece of cake.
I think Mehtab, his drop of the expo was a brilliant idea, but coming in with just an expo is enough. But he had so many tower cards. Whether you talk about the Tesla, he had the Tesla available. He had the expo. He had another
A
card.
lot of structures
A lot
to
of
divert and
structures,
all
yeah, a
coming
lot of
on
structures.
slot.
But more than just dropping down structures, he wasn't able to distract what was coming to those structures and not let them hit the main tower. Of course, the miner being one of the main cards that were hitting the tower. But apart from that, Mukul did have a lot of other cards. Whether you talk about the bats, you talk about the minion horde, there were so many cards he could just keep using as a versatile ratio, just apart from the motor. But when you talk about Mehtab's pickup, just the expo would have done him great. But there was nothing to really push apart from that. And at the end of the day, you gotta like make sure that you're able to at least reach your other person's star. And maybe if he had a P.E.K.K.A. or something, or even a mini P.E.K.K.A., I think it would have done better for him. Also, his fireball missing on point on so many times when the bats and the minion hordes were played, due to which I think he took this game as a loss. I hope he continues to play a very confident deck that he did like this time. But only thing this time, I hope he has a good defense against what comes his way, apart from just towers.
Alrighty then. Well, that's the first game broken down for you guys. Let's quickly head off into the second game here in this best of five and see what's the score.
All right, we are back with game two. Thank you, Angie and Vagish, for breaking down game one. That was quite nice to have you guys give me a small break to catch my breath, and while you guys break down the game even more. However, this is game two, and we are back again with another great game. Let's find out how Mehtab is planning to win this game. We see he has the giant, he has the ultimate defense of a Nado and a baby dragon, and he has the double prince, so it's a double prince giant build alongside a baby dragon and a Nado. So he's going to be bunching everything together and doing a lot of damage on them. Very nicely placed units there, by the way, completely negating the baby dragon's damage. These minions were able to come out behind him and do a lot of damage. A Nado completely failed. What was that? I don't even know what happened there. It was clearly Mehtab's Nado, and he completely missed. I think this is game over, guys. I think we should just stop the game right now and take it to the studio. That was an error. Like, that was a grave mistake that cost Mehtab that tower, bringing it down to 500 health, by the way. So, Mukul once again off to a great start, and Mehtab not looking so great right now, especially with his current standings. He needs much more. So here we go. He's going to set up that giant, followed by the prince. He's going to put the baby dragon also behind it. So he's loaded up a lot of units. So now the point is, how are you going to distract the baby dragon, and you can put down the minion horde also to help you out. So but very well defended. I think he'll be able to hold. He's not taken a single point of damage, by the way. That was a big push coming to his doorsteps, and he didn't take a single point of damage. Mukul clearly just finished, like hard stopped that push right outside his doorsteps, and that prince was so close, but still far away. Mukul off to a great start, going into the double elixir time. This seems like it's going to be a game which is going to be finishing in exactly 15 seconds or 45 seconds now. And I don't think Mehtab will have any luck defending against him. He spent a lot of elixir throwing down the lightning strike. The baby dragon will be taken out here. Baby dragon, but for a change now, targeting the minion horde, they're taking it down. So, but here comes the defensive units. More and more units being dropped down. 25 seconds left on the clock. This is gonna be GG. Well played, coming out very soon. The minion horde will be quickly clearing out all the damage here. And the knight will be able to get one single hit. So good to see him get a single hit there. 13 seconds left on the clock. This is GG, well played. And let's go to the studio and let's hear what they have to say about game 2 of this best of 5. So Angie and Vagish, off to you guys. Thank you so much.
All
I
right, that's an interesting victory there,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Another clean victory by Mukul 8-bit Archel.
Yeah, and again, I mean, again, Mehtab got the cards right this time. He had the prince, he had, but again, he lacked to see what to do about the minion horde, because he's dropping down the baby dragon, which he needs to drop behind the giant, which works for him. The dark prince, to make sure if there's any splash coming from ground troops, he's got that cleared. But the minion horde is such a dangerous card. It's one of the most highest DPS cards in the game. You got to have like a fireball or something available to make sure, or
Arrows.
even the zap. The zap spell also works brilliantly. Also, it costs less elixir. And in this matchup, Mehtab wasn't really waiting for Mukul to play. It was I'm going to keep playing over and over again, but he was over and over playing the same kind of
Same, it's a
combination.
pattern, it's this rhythm. I just saw Mehtab doing the same rhythmic progression
Yeah,
of card usage again and again. Start of the giant at the main crown tower,
yeah.
then follow it up with a baby dragon, then go probably drop like
A dark prince or
dark
just
prince to
yeah.
follow up. Yeah, it's
It
the same
I
thing
liked
again and
his
again.
aggression. His aggressive push was good. It wasn't that it wasn't. It was just that when you do it the first time, you know how your opponent is going to counter it, and then your opponent is always going to keep the segmented cards on the side to know when your giant comes. I know how to use my minion horde, and that's basically how Mukul is just dealing with him. I think this third game is Mehtab's final game. He just has to be patient, and he has to wait for Mukul to kind of take the first step. Also, if he re-adds a card like maybe a tower card, a structure card like before, it will help him a lot, because then you distract the cards while they come to you. He's misleading the factor that a structure is not only to do defense, but I mean, not only to attack, but it's also there to distract. And if he understands the distraction and is able to push with the aggression of a giant, I think we'll have a little different to see what happens in the third game.
Alrighty then, so
Yeah.
then let's head off to the third game of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we are back. Game 3 between Mukul and Mehtab. And thank you, Vakish and Angie, for breaking that game down really quickly. I think that was just a mashup of misplays on Mehtab's part. He completely messed up on few key spells there, hence costing him that game 2 of the best of 5. However, there is still time. There's still plenty of games to go. This is a best of 5. So if Mehtab can take the next 3 games in a row, he could come out victorious of this best of 5, and he could really use the win, because currently he stands barely at the bottom of the table right now. And here we go. 3 musketeers drop down. And what does Mehtab has in mind right now? How is he planning to defend this? The fireball comes out, completely takes out the flying barrel. A fireball aggressively on this side also, and that push will be stopped on the right hand side completely. However, out of all of this, we finally have 1 musketeer alive, and Hog Rider will be helping her out. And here comes a lot of units uh, taking care of this push altogether. The musketeer still alive, will be able to take a single shot on the tower. So the trade has been fairly even so far. Both the guys played well, but look at Mehtab and look at the elixir lead that he has. Mehtab finally seems like he's in a good lead right now and can actually come out ahead. Let's see how Mukul defends against the Mehtab's extra elixir push. Mehtab now strategically placing the armored minion, the mega minion right behind him, and Sparky also comes out very, very aggressively. However, there is an ice golem ahead of him who will tank the first shot. Now the second shot is being prepped up, and the skeleton is dropped in front to tank up the second set of damages also. Here comes the third splash, taking down the hunter there, and again a moot end to this push. Both these guys are pushing, dropping a lot of elixir down, however not getting a lot of damage done also. A little log was dropped fairly, ahead of time there. He was hoping that Mehtab will drop the army of skeletons there. However, Mehtab holding on to that very smartly. So good for him. The fireball is ready. The musketeers are coming down. So is the ghost. Ghost, remember, is invisible till he attacks. Finally distracted. The Sparky will be able to take down the ghost. However, the musketeer is still alive. Here comes the second charge of the Sparky, taking out the musketeers. Now Sparky is on its way alone on the right hand side. He might be able to take down the tower, or I mean get a hit on the tower. However, nicely placed log coming in. Will he get a shot? No. Wow, that was super close. The Sparky not able to get what it wanted to get done. However, now let's see the push on the right. The ghost is out, distracted. The Hog Rider finally hits the tower. He's getting few hits in, and Sparky trying to clear out the mess that's coming towards his side. And guess what? While this is happening, the Hunter has been absolutely devastating the Giant, because the closer he is, the more damage he does. The Sparky comes out. Will he get another hit? Yes, the Musketeers are out, and here comes another log. And Mukul has been so like he's been timing that log so well that the Sparky pretty much goes down right just a split second before he's able to get that hit off. Again, Mehtab bringing out another big push, and Mukul is answering that by putting everything he has on the right hand side. And finally, the log comes out and the zap comes out, and this will be plenty of damage on this tower. I think this is game over, and Mehtab is gonna lose his best of 5 with a 0-3 loss, and Mukul is gonna clean the house here with 3 victories in a row. So this is pretty good. Best of 3, actually it's a best of 5, finishing in 3 games. And that is all that there is to this game, guys. I have nothing more to add. Mukul absolutely devastating his opponent there, and played really, really well. So I'm going to pass it back to the studio to close the segment, and then we have some exciting Counter-Strike matches coming up, and then Dota 2 as well. So it's goodbye from me, guys. Thank you so much.
What a clean slate victory there for 8-bit Mukul Anchal, or Mukul 8-bit Anchal. Like, literally, both the names are his.
Yeah. But I feel a little bad for Mehta because in the third game, he kind of really went out, all out. He played
Yeah.
his favorite card. He played the giant with it. He had the skeleton army. And even in the second round, we saw that even though the Hog Rider was coming, Mehta was patient. He didn't really use the skeleton army. He let the log pass by, and then he did manage to use skeleton army. But it all comes down to patience, and that's basically what I saw from Mukul. Like, he did not really keep throwing cards. He was just making sure that, okay, if the Sparky comes, I got the log for it. If the push is too hard, I have the hunter for it. I have 3 musketeers waiting. Even if they don't really do the damage, I need to buy time. And when Mukul understands, and basically he just understood how Mehtab plays, because in the first 1 minute he just wanted to see what are the different cards Mehtab has, which he made sure he found out. He didn't really play the aggressive hog till very much later, where he was sure to get that damage output from the hog and the royal ghost. Now he sent the royal ghost with the hog to make sure that even if there's a skeleton army, I either have the log. Even if that fails, I still have the royal ghost to make sure that if my hog touches the tower, that tower is going to fall down. And even though he had the 3 musketeers, he didn't really use it in the most aggressive fashion. He knew that there is going to be something available on Mehtab's side to kind of take them down, which was the fireball. But apart from that, Mukul was just playing good Mukul Clash Royale, where he knows that I know how to play with a Sparky, I know how to play against a Sparky, and Mehtab tried, and he tried really hard. But
He
at the
tried
end,
like a valiant Clash Royale
yeah, but the
professional.
patience is the greatest key, and I think he just misses out on a little bit of patience.
Okay, alrighty then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that sums up today's Clash Royale game. Remember, we have Counter-Strike Global Offensive lined up for you guys, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right around the